6:51, time for the morning sprint.
The United States Postal Service is offering a reward of up to $50,000 to help solve the murder of a Milwaukee mailman. USPS says the 44-year-old mail carrier was shot and killed on the city's north side Friday. Police are looking for a silver Audi Q5 SUV that might have been involved. Investigators say the suspect here should be considered armed and dangerous.
Those lower prices at the pump could be threatened by the largest U.S. onshore oil spill in nearly a decade. In Kansas, there is a rush this morning to repair and clean up a ruptured part of the Keystone Pipeline. The owner, Canada's TC Energy, shut the pipeline down after just about 600,000 gallons of crude oil poured into a local creek. So far, the spill has caused just a brief surge in crude prices. This spill in a creek running through rural pasture land in Washington County, Kansas, has environmentalists asking Congress now to reconsider permitting for the pipeline.
The UW system trying to encourage more out-of-state residents to move to Wisconsin for college, specifically schools that aren't UW-Madison. During a Regents meeting last week, board members approved the non-resident Midwest tuition rate. It starts next year. The rate will be 150% of the cost paid by students from Wisconsin, though board members say that could increase or decrease depending on how the first year goes. That new initiative does not affect, by the way, the current tuition reciprocity agreement between Wisconsin and Minnesota.
NASA celebrating the successful return of its Artemis 1 moonship. The uncrewed Orion capsule splashed down yesterday in the Pacific Ocean, about 350 miles south of San Diego. Twice the capsule flew within 80 miles of the moon's surface. Now NASA wants to send a crewed test flight around the moon in 2024, followed by a moon landing sometime later this decade.
A sigh of relief on Hawaii's Big Island. Scientists say the eruption of the Mauna Loa volcano is easing. It might soon end. It started spewing molten rock more than 2 weeks ago after staying quiet for nearly 40 years, producing gorgeous photos like this. They've now lowered the alert level from a warning to a watch.
New information out on just how busy the holiday travel season is going to get. AAA is estimating that about 113 million people will travel 50 miles or more from home from December 23rd through January 2nd. Most will drive, with 2 million more expected this year compared to last. The group thinks that air travel will increase 14% compared to last year.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says inflation should significantly drop next year as long as there's no, quote, unanticipated shock. She made those comments in an interview with CBS News' 60 Minutes, adding there are always risks of a recession. Yellen also predicts the labor market will remain quite healthy, pointing out the drop in gas prices as another positive sign.
Elon Musk is no longer the richest person in the world. That's according to Forbes. The #1 spot now occupied by Bernard Arnault, CEO of French luxury brand LVMH. That's the company behind Louis Vuitton luxury goods and Hennessy. According to Forbes, Musk is worth $183 billion. Arnault, $186 billion.
Meanwhile, Twitter relaunching its Twitter Blue service for the coveted blue checkmark verification symbol for $8 a month. However, the price tag for Apple users is $11 a month. This is because Elon Musk says Apple's in-app purchase fees are too high. The service had been paused last month due to a spike in fake accounts after Twitter Blue's initial launch. Twitter says it's putting in place a more thorough review process this time before issuing the checks.
Large winter storms slamming into California over the weekend, now headed toward our area. It sent blizzard warnings across Denver, in the plains, life-threatening tornadoes in the south. The storms bringing California some much-needed rain, but reservoirs are still just over half full, not yet enough to pull the state out of its historic drought.
Taylor Swift will make her feature film directorial debut at Disney's Searchlight Pictures. The company says Swift has written an original script. It hasn't released any information on the plot or casting, though. The Swift-directed short film, All Too Well, won Video of the Year at the VMAs, earned a Grammy nomination, and is now eligible for an Academy Award.
We're getting you out the door with the 3 things you need to know on your Monday morning. Cloudy and quiet as we start off the new work week. That wind is going to be moving in over the next few days. Quite windy as we move in with that next system. Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday, we're going to have some rain in the forecast with that snow arriving later on Thursday. There's your 7 to 10 day forecast right there. Again, we'll be watching that system closely as it moves in. No alert days in the forecast right now. We'll let you know if anything changes. But look at the temperatures as we get into next week,
chilling
guys.
down.
Look at that, 20 degrees. That's well below average. Those lows are going to be in the single digits, and that's Christmas week. So there's a lot to be watching as we get closer to the holidays.
Hey, that could mean that we see a white Christmas, huh?
Depends on how much snow we get on the back half of this system. So we'll be timing that out to see if those temperatures hold steady enough for us to get that white here.
Josh
All right.
Ryder, thank you.
Stick around. Another news and weather update in about a half an hour.